Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Crafting and Cruising. I'm Lisa, and I'm here with my sidekick, Rodney, my husband.
Hello, everybody.
And I think that Debbie is going to get on here and share us out to the Czech Savvy Sisters. When you come on, say hi. I have a hat on tonight because my hair is filthy and we are in between trips. So tonight, I got to do my hair. But I didn't want y'all to see how gross it was. So we're going to be doing something fun that's not necessarily just Christmassy, but it's fun. I'll be right back. Rodney, talk for a minute.
Talk among yourselves.
No, you talk.
I can't tell them what we're doing.
Yeah, you can.
These are what Lisa's going to be making tonight. Are some little flowers. Some of you may have seen them done before. We recently worked on a few. They're going to have a little different variations of them today. But the idea is to take little somewhat circular pieces of paper and stack them up to make flower shapes. And she's got all kinds of different ones in mind here. She's got tissue paper and she's got Christmas paper and looks like wallpaper. I'm not sure what all this stuff is, but all kinds of things. And then I had to conjure up a few things on the side.
Hey, everybody. Sorry, that lipstick was too much. Hey, Mary Zwinger, my sister.
Let's see if I can
How are you?
Get on comments here.
Rodney's going to try to get on comments that I need for Debbie or Mary or somebody. Hey, Joan Hoffman, to let me know if I'm in the sisters, because I don't want to
Debbie
start.
Riggs says, I'm here and you are shared.
Good. Hey, Sister Debbie. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So, you guys, the other day on my page, Crafting and Cruising, I've been doing Christmas in July, and I made a commitment that I would go live every day on my page. Hot as AG double toothpicks. Hockey sticks, I think. It's storming here, or it has been, as y'all can tell out the window. So
They can't really tell because it's blurred.
hopefully we won't get kicked off, but it's been thundering and storming a lot. So I made these simple little flowers that anybody can do for any occasion. Since I was doing Christmas in July, I kind of put an emphasis on the fact that you could use them for package toppers. I love to wrap gifts for about 30 minutes. And hey, Grace, and then I don't like it anymore. You know why? Because it's so monotonous. And then I don't want to take ribbons and have to tie them on and take bows. And yet I love beautiful packages. I know my grandchildren and my children are just going to be ripping it open. So I thought, what's something that I could put on top of packages, whether it's birthday, anniversary, wedding, whatever, that could be reused? So I've got this little flower idea I'm going to share with you. And I did it the other night, and some people asked how, when I showed it on the page, some people asked me how I did it, asked for a tutorial, and Debbie said it might be just as easy to go live and do it, so that's what we're going to do. So it's so simple. Y'all, this is the kind of thing you can do sitting around watching television. You could do it while you're driving in the car, riding in the car, not driving in the car. And just have a whole bunch of them. Hey, Susan, my sweet sister, and have a bunch of them just saved up. So here's what you're going to need. This is how simple it is. A pair of scissors, a pen or a pencil. If you want some jewels in the center of your flowers, then some jewels. You're going to need wax paper and parchment paper. These two are key because they have a lot of body to them. So wax paper and parchment paper. And then any other kinds of papers you have. Someone had asked on that post, can you use napkins? I don't know. We're going to find out tonight. So here's a napkin. You also need something round, about 3 inches, give or take, however big you want your flowers. I used Distress Oxide on the edges of some of them. That's not a necessity, it's an option. You're gonna need some little teeny tiny brads, and these are from Creatology that I got at Michael's. And let me show you how tiny they are. See, they're very, very little, which means that the hole in your flower needs to be very, very little. This came with 110 pieces. So you'll need something like this. And then you either need an awl, or Rodney found this and we don't even know what it is. Looks pretty wicked, but it's very sharp and just a small point. Or if you have a MacGyver like I'm married to, you could get him to build you a little block of wood with a nail coming through it that's already a good size, and then you can just put your flowers on here. Either way, if you're going to use an awl or something sharp like that, you'll want a piece of wood under it. And then you want to just try to hit it one time to get your hole going through all the pieces. If you don't, the hole will get too big, and that little brad is so tiny that it'll come all the way through the paper. So that's literally about it. I put some diamond dust around the edges of some of them just now. Again, all of that is optional. Now, when I was taking watercolor classes at Plaza Art, I had access, hey sweet Janine, to Oriental papers. And so I have a bunch left that I cut some circles out of. Also, I had this really old newspaper. Let's see if it says what year. September the 21st. I mean, y'all, it has that smell to it. 1944. So it had, hey Patricia Dingler, it has that smell to it. You know, like it's been in an old barn or something and stored. Then when I saw my art teacher in Atlanta recently, she gave me some old book pages. So I used those. The sky is the limit. You can use wrapping paper. I even cut out some lace. I don't know how this is going to do, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Coffee filters. These are the brown coffee filters, but you could coffee or tea stain white ones. And then see, these are like the little Oriental papers that I have where you can see fibers in them.
You can use funny papers.
That one. This one has little glitter in it. Yes, you could use comic books. You could use magazine pieces. Anything you want to. You want to use approximately 14 or 15 circles per flower. So, let's get started. Ronnie, will you move this back and kind of tilt it down for me? First thing, I'm going to show you how I cut any of the paper that I had out. Back a little bit more, please.
Let me move a few things here.
I don't want to, I know my background is blurry, but I don't want this to be blurry. There you go. There you go. That's good. Okay. So, this is a piece of parchment paper. So, I just tore off a big piece. Now, I'm going to fold it about the width of this little circle that I'm using. So, I'll have as little waste as possible. And I'm just going to crease it.
Same principle as making paper dolls.
Right. I'm going to fold it over again and crease it.
Not that I would know anything about making paper dolls.
Then why'd you say that, Rodney?
Actually, I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, I'm going to cut the excess off just so it won't be in my way. And y'all, when you cut your circles, they're not going to be perfect. They're going to be perfectly imperfect. We don't care. Because we're going to scrunch them up to look like flowers. So nobody's going to know if you're perfect or not. All right, so we have 3 layers here. Depending on the size, you could have even more, depending on how much you cut off. Okay, so now I'm going to fold it the other way. That's pretty cool. And I'm going to measure with my top. I'm going to crease it. Hey, Sherry. I'm going to fold it again. Hey, Evadna, how are you, friend? Fold it again. Fold it again. Too bad I didn't have quite enough to finish that out, so I'll just cut that excess off. Is that Micheline on there? Hey, sweet sister. Okay, so now I have all these papers, and I'm going to take my top, my canning. It says trying to reconnect. Sorry, y'all. hang with me. And I'm going to trace around it. And you can't see totally, but I can see the outline. Because parchment paper has a little bit of a waxy touch to it.
Get your block of wood.
So now I am cutting out the circles. And here's what I want you to know. The wax paper and the parchment paper, you really want to use several pieces of it. I would say at least 2 or 3 per flower, because they give the body that it needs to hold the other pieces. And like I said, I'm not sure how the napkins are going to do. We're going to find out tonight. I kind of think they'll be fine. You'll just have to be very careful with them, because and you don't even have to remove all the plies on the napkin, because in some of the paper that I'm going to use are the plies that I took off the napkin. And then I thought later, why did I even do that? I could have just used that as a separate ply. Okay, so you see how I cut them out. Now I'm going to take my little thing that Rodney made me, and I'm going to start with a piece of wax paper, parchment paper, and I'm going to wad it up. And then I'm going to unwad it. Is that a word? And I'm going to try to center it down here, and I'm going to put my paper down, okay? Then I'm going to take one of these papers that I went around with the Ranger Distress Oxide and just kind of diddied up some of the edges, wrinkle it, put it on top. Okay? Now I'm going to take a piece of wax paper, do the same thing. I think this one we're going to do in muted colors and use some of the old newspaper. Can y'all see what I'm doing? I think you can. I'm a noob. Thank you, Dolores. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If y'all aren't following my page, I hope you will start following Crafting and Cruising. We would love to have you. Sometimes my husband even crafts for me, and he does a great job. Debbie can tell you that for sure. Okay, so I've got some coffee filter on here. And now I'm going to take, I hope this doesn't disintegrate, this old newspaper when I wad it up, because little pieces fell off, excuse me, when I was cutting it. That one just tore. This might not work. Micheline says she heard your voice.
Yes, I was passing through.
Okay, now I'm going to take a piece of
Thank you,
white.
Sherry.
This is an Oriental paper. It's almost like, it feels almost like paper towels. It's that kind of weight. Okay, and I'm going to put that on next. Then I'm going to go back and get one of my pieces of parchment paper or wax paper, because again, I want the what am I trying to say? The body. I want the body of the paper to be really strong, and the wax paper and the Oriental paper will do. I'm going to put a piece of lace on there. Let's try a piece of lace. This was just a lace tablecloth that I got at the Goodwill, and I cut some of it out. Now, you can't scrunch it, but that's okay, I think. Okay, now I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper. Rodney's not wadding his up like he's supposed to. Such a rebel. Okay, let's take another.
Someone asked you can use any kind of paper. Yes, Micheline?
Any kind of paper.
Just about anything you can imagine. Funny books, cartoons.
Books. That would be comic books, he's trying to say.
Funny books is what we called them back in the days. So, yep. And
yes, you can
I
use
think
any
at Christmas
kind
it'd be
of
cool
paper.
to use your scrap Christmas paper, all the little pieces that
I
you
do too.
where you wrap
The
packages.
wrapping paper. And y'all, I don't throw anything away. Rodney can attest to that. I don't throw anything away. And like when you separate the plies on your napkins to decoupage with, a lot of people throw those away. People who do junk journaling or scrapbooking have learned to hang on to them, because you can stamp on them. You can stamp words on them. You can use them in things like this. So let me count how many I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we've got a few more. I'm going to put another piece of wax paper. another one of these
I'll let you use some of mine
beige
if you want to.
pieces. So Ronnie decided to do an experiment. Did you use these?
No, they got laid on there somewhere.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Ronnie decided to do an experiment before we started. Hey, Paula. No, you're not that late. We just got started. You've used
Hey,
dryer
Veronica.
sheets too. That's pretty cool. Ronnie decided that he wanted to try something different. So he took some tissue paper. And you know, you can get tissue paper in all patterns and colors. You can go on Amazon and find some really cool tissue paper. And he dipped his or poured drops of alcohol ink on his tissue paper and said, wonder what that would do. I mean, you just got to try and see. Okay, so let's take another piece of this old newspaper.
I know what I forgot to get was your yesterday's flowers.
You know what? I think I'm going to put one more piece of parchment paper before I put this one because I want that one on top. Okay, so let's put parchment paper. And that one's torn. Let's don't use that one.
I'll use it.
And let me open my little brads here. Why don't you watch the comments, please, so you can see if there's questions. Veronica, the purpose of the wax paper and the parchment paper is that they're a little bit heavier duty, and so they help hold the shape of the flower better.
They give it a little body where the tissue paper just kind of flattens out.
Okay, so see how I have all these on here. It's already looking like a flower just by wadding it up. Now I'm going to take it off carefully. Turn it upside down, and I'm going to take one of these little teeny tiny brads.
Can you use the regular brads like you use for notebook paper and stuff? Aren't there some?
You can,
Just a
I
size
guess,
bigger?
if your hole is big enough. This is just what I think works better. And the reason I like these, y'all, oops, I put that in the wrong way. I should have gone from the top. Because the reason I like these flowers and these little brads is because they're so flat that then you can, I'm having a hard time getting it in here. You can glue them to your package or take double-sided tape.
Get back over your nail again if you can't get it through.
Use double-sided tape and stick it to your package. Will y'all?
I think they
Hold,
slipped.
please.
I think they slipped a little bit.
I don't want them to break.
Does the brad become the center of the flower?
It does, but that's why I said that you, and they're gold, so that's not a bad thing. But that's why I said you might want to get some, just some gemstones, or I've got lots of Totally Dazzled. I've got some old jewelry that I've collected, and I pulled out a few little pieces tonight that I'll show you. I'm going to use Stick Fast and hot glue to put in the center just to zhuzh it up.
Dolores said Murphy's Law is what you're dealing with there when it won't.
Exactly right, Dolores. Okay, so now it's on the back, and I'm going to separate the pieces of the brad, and see it's completely flat, and it's completely not in the middle. So now, what we're going to do is take our fingers and just wad. And I just tore that piece off. So I'm trying to scrunch up the paper to look more like flower petals. Okay? And you can do this as many times as you want to. You can leave it as flat or as full as you want to. But the idea is just to have something that looks like a sweet little flower. Did you ever bring my ones I made the other day
where
up
are
here? I thought they were downstairs somewhere.
I'll check and see.
Okay, so now we're going to start over because they're all coming off the brad. See, Debbie, it doesn't just happen to you. Hey, Carly Phillips. Hey, Shannon, it's okay, it's okay. See, I just messed up, so that's good. I'm glad y'all got to see that. Fortunately, nothing here is expensive, so we're not going to lose a lot of money. Let me just just take this little puppy out so I can use some of those newspaper things again since it all decided to come apart. I think this time I'm not going to use the lace. I'm just going to use these papers. And I think I can reuse them. They do have 2 holes in them, but the holes are in the center so nobody's going to see. Okay. So coffee filters. These were already brown. You can tea stain them. You can coffee stain them if you have the white ones. Oriental papers like this. And this is rice paper. You know the rice paper that people, you could use cupcake papers, absolutely. Rice paper that people print on to decoupage. There's so many different kinds of rice paper, y'all. I have some Japanese rice paper and, I don't know, 2 or 3 different kinds. So rice papers are good because they're just a little bit heavier, but you could use, like I said, tissue paper is great, and especially because you can get them in all the patterns and stuff. I think these would be so cool used at a wedding. First of all, if a person was trying to do a wedding on a budget, they could do a really neat thing by making their either their bridal bouquet or their bridesmaids bouquets with these flowers. And you could stick little sticks on the end or bamboo skewers on the end and then glue them together and wrap ribbon around them. The bride's bouquet could be this way. The things that you put on the end of the aisles, you know, to mark that that's where families are supposed to sit. Or one thing I thought about today that I think would be so pretty is at a reception, a lot of times people will have bowls with like floating candles that are on top of them. And I have some mirrored placemats that I used at my daughter's wedding, and then we had floating candles in the center, and then you could make some of these and just lay them around, and the person could, that one of the guests could each take one from the table and take it home, and you know, remember the event by, the wedding by. Just so many options. There's really no, see what happened to this paper, y'all? It disintegrated. It said, no, thank you. Okay, I'm going to put one of these pieces that I diamond dusted just a little bit on the edge on here. And I thought I had some other newsprint, but let's finish with this piece, this Oriental paper right here. Okay. So maybe this time it'll go better. Baby showers. Can you see little pink or blue papers and napkins being used for a baby shower? And just lay them around on the table. I think it'd be so cute. I'm struggling tonight with these brads. Okay. Got it in. Y'all, look what happened. Only one side went in. Okay. Separate them. Pull it tight. And I think what I'm going to do is go on and glue a center in here before I scrunch it. And I've got some little pearls out here, and I've just got some little jewels like this out here that, you know, you don't have to have anything real fancy. Let me put a little hot melt right there and put this little jewel on it. See? It's just a simple little jewel. Let that dry for just a minute. Okay, here's the ones I made the other day. This one. This one. See, we have a little bit of colored paper in this one. And this one.
Micheline says, so pretty.
Thank you, Micheline. Okay, Ronnie. You're back on comments now, not playing.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm scrunching. This is the fun part. You know, you can just take out all your anxiety and frustration on the flower. You could teach children to make these. If you had an event coming up, you needed a lot of these. You could get grandchildren to make them. Teachers in classrooms could make them. I think teachers would love to get something like this as a gift. And you could even, you know, get like Dollar Tree flowers and cut the leaves off, or make your own flowers if you wanted to put on a package and have some leaves. Okay, so look, isn't that sweet? And it's just easy unless you mess it up like I did the first one. Okay, let's do one more. This time we're going to use some colored paper, some napkins. Let's try the napkin one. Let's do that. That'll be a great thing to see how well they're going to hold up under all of our scrunching. That's why we've got to make sure that we have our parchment paper and our tissue paper, our wax paper in here to support it.
Let's see what it says here. Susan Miklaszek says, so sweet.
Thank you, sister. I still want to make it.
Oh, can make a hair fascinator.
Yeah, well, and yes, I meant to say that earlier. You're obsessed with my hat. Says Star, thank you. And these would be cute on a little hair clip to go in a child's hair. I think they'd be cute on a clip.
You know, you're talking about school. Kids could also make these, like after they finished up with their test paper stuff in the year, they could use them and make bows out of for
That's
Christmas.
Right. That's
and
right.
Recycle their test papers.
My grandchildren take their test papers outside, or all their papers, and burn them at the end of the year. They love it. They love to just watch everything go up in smoke.
Yeah, I think your old books are a little bit too fragile for this.
Yeah, I tore one up trying. Okay, watch the comments, Lisa.
All right.
Y'all, I'm going to have to get him away from the table because all he wants to do is play.
Well, I can do
And I need him
comments
on comments, not playing. He is very creative. They thought I'd know that.
too. Fine. Susan says, you know, they love him.
Okay, let's get one of these kind of papers that was Oriental Sea, and then we put some of the Distress Oxide and Vintage Photo around the edge. This one's going to have a little color to it because we're using this napkin right here. Did take all the plies off, but again, I don't think you would have to do that. I really don't. I know you wouldn't have to because I'm using some of the plies right now in these. So when we decoupage, we have to, but we don't have to for this. And that's another reason not to throw all of your pieces away when you take them off of your napkins, because there's so many applications for them. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we need a little more. And I was going to coffee and tea stain these, the coffee filters. And where we were this weekend, I looked underneath the counter and she already had the brown ones. And I was like, yes. So I got some. Somebody asked me where we're off to next. We are leaving tomorrow and going with our camping group to, I forgot about these book pieces right here.
Yeah,
To Defeated Creek, which is like an hour and a half from us.
I'm not even sure which direction.
So that's where we're going tomorrow. And we would have been there through Sunday, but my sweet friend from Ohio, her mother, who would have been 99 the day after she died, passed away. And they're bringing her back to Nashville to bury her. So we're going to be home in time for her funeral. Okay, So let's add one more of the colored ones on top just to see how it'll look. I stamped the extra plies with words to add to projects. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah, the camping group is a lot of fun. We, you know, I guess one reason I love it so much is because it's just so laid back. I love being at the campgrounds where things are just peaceful and quiet. And there's usually water close by. And last time we took a night hike with a guide and saw the owl, heard different owls, and saw different nature things, and it was just a lot of fun. We had two of our grandchildren on that with us. Okay.
Dolores Austin says many years ago she made flowers like this using colored tissue paper, but doesn't remember how to make them. It was probably 60 years ago.
Oh, really? I should have had you bring the clipper up here to clip this off. I also had these little pearls, y'all, on these little wires that you could put in the center. Let me undo a few of these, and I think we're going to glue these in the center.
Let me break any off for you.
Pretty. And then just untwist them.
Okay.
Okie doke. So, and I also have some just single pearls too that I got out. I have a big stone like this. Look at this one. That would be pretty in the center. It's a little bit heavy. Just literally the sky's the limit. Okay. So we're going to take these 3 little pearls. Now I'm going to put some hot glue right here on top of the gold brad. And set the pearls in, and I'm going to hold it for just a second while it sets up, and then we'll scrunch the flower. So what other applications can y'all think of these could be used for? Okay.
So far.
All right, we're going to scrunch and hope the napkins don't fall apart. Clearly, we know the heavier the paper, the better.
Put a flower on your hat. Mickey Hopkins says.
Hey, Mickey. Hope you're doing well, sister. No, I'm so appreciative that Debbie let me come into the sisters group and share this with you guys. If you aren't a part of Check Savvy Life, which is our sisterhood group, you really should consider it. It is a group of women like no other who don't have to know each other in person to pray for each other and to love on each other when things are tough. And it's just a godsend. Okay, so look at this one. And see, because they're flat on the bottom, you just tape them or glue them.
They'd be adorable as part of a baby room pendant.
Oh, it would be.
And is your hat painted or napkin paper?
No, it's not. I don't know. I bought it like this. No, it was made like this. It's not either one. Okay, let's do one more. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, you can do yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Put them in the comments, and I will go back and read all the comments afterwards. So if there's any questions that you need answered, I can answer them. And
Jenny says very pretty. Mary says loving these flowers.
Thank you, Mary, Jenny.
Use as Christmas tree theme paper. Add small clips to the bottom and clip to the tree branches.
Oh, that would be pretty.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to take some Christmassy ones like this. I have a small tree over here. We're in our room, and I have a small tree over there, and I'm just going to stick them in on the branches. I just think they're so fun.
I like the idea of gluing little clips on the back.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You can get little hair clips for next to nothing at the Dollar Tree and clip them on there. That'd be fabulous. How many layers? I'm doing about 15, give or take. And again, that's just personal preference, just whatever you think feels right.
And it depends on how thick the papers are you're using and stuff. But
You could make them a whole lot smaller. You could make them a whole lot bigger. That's not even...
you want some more lace?
You know, I think the lace is what kind of messed me up when I was trying to put the brad through.
It is more difficult.
Okay, let me get this other. Here's another napkin. I think this one will be pretty. So let's... I think one of the key things is just scrunching it first so that it sort of starts taking the shape of petals or whatever. I should count as I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Remember wax paper and parchment paper a lot.
Also, instead of the nail in this thing, people may still have around their office some of the old things that you stick your receipts on to gather them up over the course of a month that had a little thing like this. That would work great.
That paper is not working. I want it to work so bad.
Rich Curtis said you're sweet to share this with us.
Well, it is my honor for sure. Okay, 7. Let me see. I think the storms have passed. Hallelujah. I was getting my nails done today. It was black outside. And by the time I walked out of there 15 minutes later, the whole parking lot was underwater. It's crazy. A little bit scary because it got dark so quick.
So wax paper or parchment on the back. It's better than tissue. Tissue's a little weak for near the connections of the inside or outside, so that gives it a little more support.
Wax paper and parchment, I think, are the key. And, you know, just put a couple papers and then a piece of wax paper or parchment paper. Then a couple more papers and then wax paper or parchment
paper. Of course, rice paper is pretty tough, too.
Rice paper is, yeah. Rice paper's got a good amount of give to it. So that's a good thing. That was a little too much. Let me do another coffee filter. So we can see that the antique paper that I wanted to use was not a good idea. Dadgummit.
Maybe not quite so old next time.
Yeah. Would have been fun. Would have looked cool. And I think that Rodney's suggestion, especially like if you're going to do a teenage boys party, birthday party, to get old comic books. I know they can cost a lot of money, but old comic books and do a bunch of flowers like this out of comic books, and they're not so girly. And I think it would make a really neat centerpiece.
Michelle says, I wonder if, I don't know, Michelle, so I wonder if you could use cupcake liners.
Yeah, I said earlier, yeah, I think you can for sure. I don't see why not. I think that's a good idea.
They would probably make a bigger flower. I think when they flatten out, they would be more like 5 inches because they're where they've got them.
Yeah.
Of course, you can make bigger flowers. This is just.
But you can also get mini cupcakes too, mini cupcake pans. So again, sky's the limit.
My daughter, Paula says, my daughter hooked a sailfish in Aruba aboard the chartered yacht Shaka.
I love Aruba. My sister owns a home there that will sleep about 15 people. It's a rental. So if anybody's ever interested, get in touch with me and I'll get you in touch with her. Trying to figure out a way to get some of the sisters down there. She also owns a second home, another home in Breckenridge, Colorado. So if you ever want to go there, well, let me know, and I can. That one holds, I think, about 15 as well. Okay, I probably have more here than I need, but I kind of like it because it's bulky. So I'm going to end with this on top, and then I'm going to find out what centerpiece I'm going to use.
Let's see what it says here. That would be a fun trip. Tony Doss.
Yes, Tony. You need to go, sister. Tony and I have been roommates before. Look at this one. This one's probably too big. Oops, let me hold it that pretty? I also have this. And
Let's see, Dolores Austin, we were in Aruba, and after tanning on the beach, we had reservations at the hotel for dinner on the beach and watched the sunset.
oh, the sunsets there are amazing.
Yep.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
I think my only time to go to Aruba was on our honeymoon. Or was it on that cruise or another one?
I don't remember going to Aruba on a cruise.
I think it was one of the stops.
Okay, let me put some of this on here. They have there's one place in Aruba that has the flamingos strutting around everywhere. It's at one of the hotels, and you can go and see the flamingos. Now, one thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to do on this one as soon as we get this scrunched. We're going to diamond dust a little bit. One of the pieces already has diamond dust. I see it sparkling. Okay. Lay it open a little bit. Now look. Isn't that pretty? Separate them a little bit, but I still want them scrunched.
What did you use to remove from posts to hold them together? Oh, these are some little blocks of wood that I just put a, let's see if you can see that in the
Here,
picture. I
I'll
got
hold it up to not
where it's just got a nail driven into a piece of wood. It's probably a 10-penny nail, and but these are dangerous. You don't need to leave them laying around anywhere after you use them because that nail's sticking up. But you can also use just put all your circles together and punch the hole after the fact. Lisa can probably show you one like that.
Yeah, I'll show you one.
Because that's the way, rather than, if you're just building one, that would be the way to do it. But if you're going to do a bunch of them,
Did you bring me just a piece of wood? Okay,
these,
so I'll
these
show you.
fixtures are, you won't need that until you get them all stacked, unless you want
I'll
to stack
show you.
them,
I'm just
stack them
gonna,
on the wood.
we're gonna pretend like these are, already wrinkled and all that kind of stuff.
Just build them one.
So, what I would do, once I get them all together, is lay them on a piece of wood, take the awl, and you can get, I saw awls today at Dollar Tree with the smaller handle. I'll stick it right in the center, and I'm going to try to hit it just once to make it go through all the paper, okay?
And this is a card table, so
And if
make
you
it
can
through?
see right there, it came
you
through.
might not push it up. Is it barely through?
It's barely,
Okay.
and that's good. You don't want, see, if I push it too far, then it's going to make the hole too big. So you can see the awl coming out right there. Okay? So, if Rodney had not had these, then that's what we would have done. All right, so now I have some watered down Mod Podge. Not my favorite glue to use, but we're just going to do it anyway. I have my diamond dust in an old cinnamon sugar bottle that I just wrote diamond dust on. So let me take this one, and all I'm going to do is just, I really watered down this Mod Podge because it was just too thick. I mean, it was really thick.
Debbie Young, thanks for joining. You can be a little late, but you can catch the replay.
Yeah, there's
Not a
always
problem.
replay, sister. You're never late. I just appreciate all y'all coming on here and being here to support me, and I so appreciate Debbie asking me to come on and do this. I love crafting, and most of y'all know I love doing watercolor. So, maybe color with